Hey!
Should we start talking? Is that how that works?
4th of July!
Yay!
America!
Yay, I love this country.
Only because it's a federal holiday and we get double time at work. I mean,
But we're not double time here.
for anyone watching who's really patriotic, just, don't judge, but we're just not. Not really. Not a lot.
We acknowledge the terrible, non-patriotic military parade that happened today.
Yeah, it was $80 million.
Let's say no.
Okay.
It's happened.
No.
It's happened.
Can you guys tell me later? Because
Trump.
I was kind
did
of
a
busy.
thing.
Yeah, okay. But, I'm sorry. I don't want to get into that too much. But I want to say, welcome to the show, the Terra Sentia series. We're having a half session today. And we're taking the other half of the session to celebrate Shanna, because it's Shanna's last day of gaming with us in the near future. And tell the viewers where you're going.
So one might say it's my Independence Day, as it was my last day of work.
Yay!
Yeah.
Right.
And I brought my employee discount card, and we can do something like ceremonial later. I mean, I brought it because it's always with me, but I realized on the ride over, it doesn't have to be with me anymore. It's non-functional.
We can do like the Office Space printer beatdown.
Yeah, we'll just stamp on it or something.
So there was this thing when we were working at Wild Oats where they would cut your card off on your last day at your store, but you could go to every other Wild Oats and still use it one more time.
Yeah.
So your Wild Oats, as it were?
Could you use it once at any or once at every?
Once at every.
That's hot.
How many were close?
Wait.
The run.
Oh, so it's not like that anymore. It's just like the big mothership master computer, probably. But I think that is cool. I wish that was still going on. That would be fun. Also, they'd make money by doing that. I did use my discount one last time to get something ridiculous that I never would buy otherwise, which is like those huge new Hydro Flask.
Those are fucking $50, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're on sale for $30 right now, and then plus the 20% off.
So
that's pretty nice. Half off for you.
It's
that's
like a 32 ounce huge Hydro Flask that's screw top.
Less than $1 per ounce.
That's gonna keep your colds cold and your hots for 32 ounces. 32 ounces worth. Yeah.
For 32 ounces worth.
Yeah.
We have limited time, so let's get rolling.
Okay.
First thing I want to do is I want to give a little shout out to Infinity Break Show Legend of Laia. Something monstrous this way comes. From the mind of Nikki Bolin comes the Infinity Break's last tabletop streaming endeavor, The Legends of Laia. Meet Shalra Tasaran, a bard with an enormous hat. Merville, Voltress, a warlock who has recently wagered too much on a lost bet. Hugo Dufontaine, a swashbuckler treasure hunter, and Petros, a half-orc paladin cop who just got kicked off the force. Enter the world of Laia, a continent torn in half by the dark abyss filled with monsters. When the darkness begins to spill out of the gash in the earth, our heroes are tasked with maintaining the balance that holds this fractured world together. The Legends of Laia will stream every other Sunday opposite Speak of the Devil at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on the Twitch channel, Infinity Break Gaming. And you can find them on wherever you get your podcasts, like Podbean or Apple and whatnot. And they began streaming on March 24th, so they're knee deep into that show. So they're having fun with that. And oh boy, we got some stuff to do.
Yeah, we do.
Connor, pretty excited about it.
Get it, Connor. Barrio? What? Rufio.
So, we last left off with our intrepid heroes getting closer and closer to the mystery of the Rot Queen. Now, I know that you just land on a specific piece of information about Griffinbeak, the dwarven forged dagger that has been in your past.
Past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future. Yep.
And it's in your possession now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's why I said present.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
And
I like how the dwarf is the person who didn't even get to touch or know about the dwarven dagger. But, that's fine.
I have a belt. I'm basically a dwarf. Leave me alone.
We also just met
That's
you.
racist in so many ways.
Hey, I just met you.
Your people made it.
Okay, so is there anything?
I got a belt.
Is there anything that anyone wants to share right now? Because ultimately, last session, you all decided that you were going to try to find a way to get to the Grove of the Ancients.
Mm-hmm.
So, time.
Yes.
You know that there is a way for you, although probably not in an ideal form. You know that there is a way for you to get to the Grove of the Ancients now.
Mm-hmm. Define ideal form. What time thinks that is?
Well,
Just trying to be smooth.
your own physical form.
Yeah. What do you mean, like, how do I get there? Like, what do you mean by the not so ideal way of me doing that?
Oh, okay.
You asked.
I figured since if you read the
yeah. I mean, I read it,
stat,
but I'm curious.
Well,
But,
what did you extrapolate from that?
that I have options, but I don't know of any particular griffins that are at.
Well, it doesn't say just griffins.
Yeah, but winged things. I'm not gonna. That's rude. That's not at all what I'm gonna do.
Call down undead griffins for us to run.
No. It didn't say winged things.
Hold on.
It said wingdings.
Any griffin, bird, or winged natural creature.
Winged natural creatures. This is like beasts and whatnot, not humanoids.
Okay, thank God.
Are we not natural creatures?
What other winged natural creatures do I know about?
Well, for one, Junebug has that potential.
Yeah, she's small.
That's why I said not ideal.
Yeah, gotcha. Hey,
What if you
dragons are natural creatures, aren't they?
No, they are not.
No.
They're not unnatural creatures? Awkward.
What about
So-
dragonborn?
I want to be really clear.
Definitely
when I say
not.
natural creatures, I mean like
You can't polymorph, right?
on
Beasts on the
beasts
level.
on the
Okay.
on
What
in
is
monster
the
manual.
largest winged
Guys, I wrote an
natural
owlbear
creature we know
thing.
about in the Kashar
good number.
Forest that could carry people?
I mean, Ferg's read about rocks.
Yeah, we got those.
Yes, but they don't
What
exist.
about
in
that
the
thing
Kashar
that we
Forest.
killed that I wrote?
Yeah, I was going to say those giant
Can
hawk
you
things.
mind control it or something?
I mean, wait, was I ever there for
Is
that?
that a thing? I'm not a magic-y person. This is
Yeah.
Kath asking.
So can we presume that I know all of this information just from like myself / connecting to the dagger, because I could just read this to people as
Yeah,
curiosity?
that's why I sent it to you.
Cool. All right. Hey, gang.
Yes.
So this is what happens, and time, like as she is grasping the dagger, you hear her utter the word Griffinbeak. And you see it kind of like move forward, like it's going to bite into her hand again. But as it kind of like moves, it actually sort of like molds to her hand instead of biting into it, and kind of becomes like this really interesting like hilt that is obviously guided along her hand.
And it says to you, time,
In-
I accept you for now, but I'm watching you. Something's not right with you.
The dagger says that?
Because I am temporary dwarf, my friend, and we will work on that later.
Emphasis on temporary.
I know. Everything is though. So I'm saying this out loud, and you're not hearing the other half of it.
No,
So I'm going to make up this captain name together, or actually, I want to actually crowdsource this together with people. So here's the description that Bill sent to me. That's sort of like coming out of Time's mouth, but I'm going to let everybody help me out here. So ages ago, the first war wing was led by a dwarven captain named Blank, who's a paladin. So I'm curious about a dwarven paladin name.
I left that open.
Yeah, and I haven't thought of anything really good yet.
Vanderloos.
Vanderloos. Captain Vanderloos.
Piotr Vanderloos.
Piotr Vanderloos.
Done. Captain Piotr Vanderloos.
Wow.
No take backsies. While no one knows how or why, this paladin was corrupted by a demon strain, tricking him to do unseemly and dishonorable acts, all in the name of the Lilyhammer dynasty. It was only after this was painfully revealed to him that he chose to surrender himself to the orcs. The orc chieftains forced him to consume a particular type of fungi reserved to control their ant infestations, resulting in a slow and painful death. They took this dagger artifact as a trophy and has been passed down from champion to champion. Now me. The dagger is an intelligent item that speaks Griffin and Dwarven. When attuned, myself, this will allow an individual to bond with any one Griffin, consensual or not, that they touch as an action unless the griffin succeeds at a thing. This griffin acts as if they are permanently charmed by the wielder until the dagger is somehow unattuned. Also allows the wielder to take over the body of any griffin, body, or winged natural creature, using it as an avatar. If the creature dies, the wielder snaps back to the body. Other things happen.
Is it like an astral projection thing? Or is like your body
Takes over the
like
body.
absorbing like a fusion?
It's literally a taking over of the body. It's a sort of magic jar, if you will, except that the magic jar element is that natural creature.
So you're being transported in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, so I could potentially charm or connect with a griffin-like creature. I guess that's taking over the body of. So I guess what is, back to my previous question, the largest griffin or griffin-like creature, bird-like creature in the Kashar Forest?
Those things that we fought that are at the top of Crags.
I saw a robin the other day.
Yeah. No,
What were those called
as he
again,
said, unfortunately.
Oh, see,
Oh,
I
a
can't
robin.
remember.
A robin.
They were like owl beast flying things.
the things that picked us up and was carried off with you at some point.
Yeah.
Where those were.
Not natural creatures.
Mm.
Yeah, petrodons.
So yeah, I talked to our orc homies and see like who knows about what's the the largest, most capable.
Well, there are various eagles that fly.
Like big ones, big eagles.
They are eagles. They are
Can they
a
hold a
large
person?
creature. Yes. Oh no. No, you're thinking of something
Lord of
quite
the Rings
legendary, like rocks or even giant eagles. But no one has spotted any of their ilk for ages.
Can you
So,
think of... Sorry.
so these eagles, like, can they carry like one, not more than one at a time?
No, they're actual regular eagles. They cannot carry a humanoid.
It's the largest we have, though.
Can we?
Could two of them carry one together?
I can only control one at a time.
Is there a way to call a griffin?
Don't we have a potion of embiggening?
Largeman.
Viagra?
Embiggening. A Viagra potion. You feel real stiff about this opportunity.
We have a hill giant strength.
So I want to remind you that even if you were to be like a big griffin, there's the legends say that there's still really no way to like get that person out of the Kashar.
I thought we could talk about like being animals could get us out of the Kashar.
Animals, for sure.
Animals. So if we were like polymorphed as an animal or something like that, could get us out of the Kashar? Question mark.
The polymorphing process, however, only lasts for an hour,
So we got to be like on the edge when we do it. Saying.
and have someone who is able to do that.
Yeah. Like
You
Where's our druid friend?
You also speak to Ramalg, and she reminds you that I have rituals that I may cast that will allow at least one of you to astrally project, taking you a bit of a distance outside of the Kashar.
Far enough to the Grove of Ancients.
I think that's close enough.
But if only one of us need to get there, then why don't I just go?
But you already have the blessing,
Oh, but
don't you?
but we
Being
all
a-
need the
being-
blessing.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So we don't need you to go.
But if we can't ritually cast for all four of you to go, then is that helpful?
I mean, can we all go one at a time?
How close are we to the edge of the forest right now?
Be far.
Ramalg says...
Because our Mog would have to be with us to ritual cast it on you.
Splitting up would not be ideal. And do not think that you couldn't benefit from the many blessings of the chiefs of old. They made a grave mistake, but it does not mean that they are not wise and able to be learned from.
Can we get enough of those with Ramalg's power to protect us all at the same time?
You're
I don't
asking
know.
for something that's not easy. Ramalg's power
I don't
is
think any of us are asking for
Yeah.
that. It's easy. It doesn't have to be
Well, but
Ramalg's
she's
power,
the-
but
she's
close
the
enough to
Kesha,
project
right?
us at least.
Oh,
that's fair.
we have a potion of ammunition.
Oh, we get smaller. That's good. So we could all get small and get on it.
Ooh, we could ride in Kev's pocket.
So
I don't think I'm a natural creature.
Ramalg says
I think it's
to all of you,
you're a beast.
Put the word out. Remember that we have many Moonjaws here as well, some of which could be spellcasters of power that I am not aware of. Put the word out and see if anyone could use that power to give you the projection that you need.
Okay, so we go to the area of the village that has like the message tree called Craig's List. That we can put like postings on to ask for help.
Except that this is going to be word of mouth.
Yeah.
Climbing reference
Craig's
also.
List.
Craig's List.
Oh,
we should
perfect.
definitely talk to Faye.
Nice. Faye is not at this village though.
Yeah, she is.
Yes, she
All
is.
of the
This one?
Moonjaws
Okay,
came
cool.
here. Yeah.
Well,
The
yeah, for sure.
Ironbacks haven't showed up yet.
Yeah.
So is Jasper here then?
Jasper is here.
I'm holding Jasper right now.
Because we left. Well,
Can
y'all
Lennon
left
turn one of
Jasper
us into an
with-
animal?
Then we're all going to pass around.
Yeah, I want to go find Lennon.
Approach Lennon.
Yeah.
I cannot, but I do know a druid who can. Plus, it would be worth connecting with Faye about this as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
find
totally.
Faye.
My friends are on that. I just wanted to see if you could specifically know any spell. We like to keep our people that we know with us if we can. No noobs, you know.
Don't split.
You're seasoned. Don't split the party.
Thank you.
It's a compliment, Lennon.
I
Kind
it's,
of.
I look vaguely dejected.
And you see where my reaction comes from.
Yeah, we die with you. It's a good
Actually
thing in the
not. I'm still
Blackfang.
out.
You die with me,
Yes.
kind of.
Yes.
So Lennon. So anyway, Lennon starts to kind of put his feelers out and sees who he can draw into this conversation. In the meantime, you catch word that Faye is fully recovered from her incident with Lucy July, having been nearly incinerated. And and you approach Faye, and as you do, she says, "Kath, it's good to see you."
I hand her some more of the fruit leather I gave her last time I saw her.
She has like crazy burn scars along like this bottom side of her cheek and all along her arm.
I don't react.
Harvey Dent style.
And
Berg is like, you look cool.
Sick.
I do, don't I?
For a 12-year-old that kills people, yeah, you really do.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys
working.
Are you guys outside the tent
the
now?
yurt? Yeah.
We're outside now?
Mhm.
Okay, I can rejoin you guys.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, that would have been accurate for sure.
Who's this one?
My name's Joy. Hi.
We're figuring him out. We don't know. But he seems cool.
He saved us.
Friend.
Like mentally, she's growling. You know, like dogs do for warning.
Mm-hmm.
Ferg's not bad.
Well, you have to realize the last shorter person she met killed all of her people.
Yeah.
Not that short.
Remember
Not
that was,
Sparky
but it's
short.
canon that
You vouched for that
orcs
little
think
shit too.
all
Look what she
halflings and
so-
dwarfs are the same thing.
Yeah. Halflings, orcs, gnomes, all the same.
Yeah,
It's
they're all gnomes.
it's a bit more tolerable that he's one of the shorter races.
Rude.
That was a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Joy.
This is like a 12-year-old half orc.
Yeah.
Or I mean, full
Still,
orc.
it's
Yeah.
a good
Full orc.
2 feet taller than
Maybe
me.
your size.
Oh,
Actually,
definitely a
bit
foot taller than me.
Okay, yeah.
I am
obviously.
You
5 foot, I think.
you look like
Maybe.
you look like this isn't just a pleasantry conversation.
So she's
You
No.
need something.
Yes,
Adult human.
Lay it on me.
we are
We're young
trying
orc.
to cross the
Why
borders
not
of the
with
Kashar, and we have a lead on how we might do that.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Well, I mean, we can cross, obviously. My friends specifically need to get across.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm sorry, I'm loving your Faye, and it's
Yeah,
getting me.
it's really
making
good.
me sassier.
Good.
Hey,
Help
how's
me,
your
thank you.
polymorph?
Yes, thank you. Her intensity was
Druids
getting me.
don't polymorph. They shape
No,
into whatever wild shape
Yeah,
that
no,
is within
but-
their heart.
but can you polymorph other things?
you know of others who can?
Can you shape us?
I feel like you just answered my question for me.
Yeah. Do you know others who can help us? Not you. Do you know others who can shape others?
Well, let's take a step back
yeah.
and say that first. Thinks that she's seeing visions and seeing things that you want to just like have conversations for everybody.
Yeah, she does that. You get used to it, Faye.
All the time.
I actually can shape other people.
See? Oh, told you we need.
Awesome.
Well, it's not as awesome as you may think.
I'm fine with this.
It's limited. I can only shape them for an hour.
Cool.
And let's just say that if they were to unshape outside of the Kashar Forest, well, I don't know what that would do to them. I've never tested that out.
That's fine. Use Lucy and find it.
Down for that.
Yeah.
But when and she again suspiciously glances to you and then continues, when I have this person shape, I become comatose. So I need someone there to guard me.
She looks at me specifically when she says that?
Well, she's looking at you specifically because she's having a conversation with you.
So we need other people, is what you're saying.
Well, we're going to have a cadre who go to the edge of the forest with us. This is fine.
Definitely.
How many others can you share?
Hey, it's Lyndon. I found someone. They're sort of a I don't know, like a retired monk. They were a druid once. They don't practice that much anymore, but they claim that they could polymorph someone into something that a little bit.
So that's 2.
Kind of
3 if you count Ramon.
3. Mm-hmm.
But she can't. She have to come with us?
Did Faye say how many? They could just one person or one. Okay,
one person.
So that's 3.
I'm just assuming concentration spell.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can cast it and get more than one at a time, but okay, so that's 3. We need. Do you want to come with us?
Well, if
not gonna lie,
if we want to get out, though,
I'm not finding much here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get blessed.
Probably good to have all of us blessed.
Yeah. And probably good to have a dwarf with us.
I can
bless you. Navigate
double
some dwarf
check.
shit.
The reason we're getting
bless
this
you right
blessing
now.
is why. I'm looking at you. Why are we getting this blessing again? To go to Craxed?
Yes, so you all can go within the boundaries of Cracks without being
Joy
injured.
can bless.
Cool. Okay, then we
not that kind of bless. They need the blessing of the ancient orcs,
#bless.
chieftains of old.
Well, and
I can't give you
it's no rumor. It actually has happened in the past. Those who
it's a thing.
Those who are able to navigate the sort of maze-like suffering of the 13 chiefs. I mean, the boons they give. They only last a certain amount of time, but they're immensely powerful.
I can handle a limited amount of time.
I hope so.
Yeah, down.
You get your non-alcoholic drink right now.
Do you want a large soda water?
So should I?
I have something there. Just cooling off.
Should I call him?
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Nut. Don't laugh.
Okay.
Sometimes you feel like one. Sometimes you don't.
It's a druid thing.
Yeah. Cool. We need 2 more.
Yeah, sure.
2 more like
Hear what
that.
you
Keep
said.
going.
I said
Once you
I'm
bring
a
that.
Okay.
We'll see if not. Maybe
Wait.
Maybe there's a group that hang out.
Lennon turns her out. Wait. So you obviously you can get out.
Yes.
1, 2,
One more then.
3.
One more then.
No, we already have 3, and then you got your dagger.
Can I get out?
Well, you need to find something to fly on,
Yeah. I need to find something to take
or
me.
something.
Like
to,
I said,
can you
Junebug.
put yourself
But
in?
what
it?
about the halfling?
Oh, you
Can
can
get big enough to carry me.
But
you can put yourself into Junebug.
You can ride Junebug like a wild pony.
Real weird. Are they technically a natural beast though?
Share post.
Because they're sort of like a fey creature that is taking the form of a natural beast.
Be
So
cool, Will.
let's just say,
Be cool.
I'm just being honest. I know magic.
let's just say that in the next day, I'll give you just sort of a montage. But in the next day, you actually test out this theory.
Cool.
You use the dagger
With
to
consent.
put your.
I'm asking Junebug.
Well,
to be clear.
Junebug's a solid no at first.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck with Junebug.
I thought you are Junebug, sort of.
No,
No.
that's not how familiars work.
It's
Okay.
like a Fey energy creature that like sort of forms into whatever I want it to be, but like I would not force myself on you. Period.
You good?
100%.
Okay.
Just want to be clear. Like if Junebug consents to trying and we chat about it, I'm in, but I'm not gonna force Jitbug.
Well, that's I guess what I'm hoping.
That I force myself on by a familiar?
A conversation is not forcing yourself on anybody.
I would like to have a conversation with Junebug.
Yeah. Okay. So Junebug, you kind of bring her around to your logic, and Junebug's like, well, okay, well, let's try it out.
Yeah.
And so you do, and Junebug flies above the canopy of the Kashar and around the surroundings, and so I'd like to describe it as like phantom limb style, like it almost feels like you as time are flying, except that when you get present to your body, it's like, except that you can still kind of feel your limbs even though they're not doing anything. And it's weird. It provides like an interesting new sensation that can only be described as numbness, but it's not numbness. It's just completely.
These are not my nerve
sensation.
endings. I don't know how this works with.
Exactly. So you fly down, and it seems to be successful.
When Junebug leaves the like aura of the Kashar, is there any sense that time has with her brother that connects?
As Junebug?
I don't know. As time's consciousness in another body, does time connect with her brother again in any weird way? Even sporadically. I'm just curious. I mean, you made me ask this question since you fucked with my connection.
I'm going to say no.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. I can go with you guys. This feels good enough.
All right. So you take a couple days to gather whatever you gather.
Don't we need to bring the child as well?
No, why?
Sparky?
Jasper's fine.
Well, we're only looking for the like this blessing to be able to make it to the cracks anyway and do things in cracks, and the child's not coming with us to cracks.
No.
This is not about like leaving
Like
the show.
permanently
This is about
leaving.
like seeing what's going on in cracks, right?
And if worse comes to worse and they're
yes.
permanently out, I will come back in. Oh, I guess I can't get Jasper out. I don't know, y'all.
Campbell, Jasper, well, who knows what.
Jasper is well fostered with the Blackfangs. It's fine.
Yeah, we figure it out.
You guys are going to have the
embrace
most badass
orcish
baby
culture.
ever.
Yeah.
We already do, thank you.
I mean, there's going to be a moment where
Enrolled in the
Jasper's
best
like,
Montessori schools.
Mama,
God.
why don't I look like the other orcs?
I said badass.
We're going to have to be like,
schools.
Not
what?
weak.
Sit down, son.
All right. So you gather your belongings. You say your goodbyes.
You don't know what
We'll respect
how they-
whatever choice they make.
Yeah, exactly.
You pack some more, dry rations and survival goods, and you head out into the forest with
Me.
Lennon, of course. But
Yay.
yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we're
Joy's happy to
assuming
be here.
that you're part of the group.
In my time in the Kashar, I've been ditched by a lot of groups, so it's
No,
nice to
that's
feel included.
fine. But then we have to view it out of context, which is that you're at the game table and you have a character sheet and you're in the group. So
Leave you behind, suck it.
but you are accompanied by Ramulg, the massive grizzly bear that is Ramulg,
Cool.
Faye, and this mysterious older retired druid named Nut. Laugh it up,
Feel good.
Buzzball.
Joy still has
No,
trouble
you-
with that.
Just one nut.
Nothing to do with you. Still
Your
your pun. I was just saying it back to you.
your journey
Nut up.
your journey is quiet. No resistance from just about anything. Some of you probably have an inkling of an idea that it might be that because you have a grizzly bear with you.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
also, everything's really.
Right. Ramulg is less than quiet through the forest. But crunch. But that doesn't matter. You guys have a few problems with a ravine or two. You just get on Ramulg's back. She ferries you across. No problem. And you find yourself on the border of the Kashar. And that happens when at a certain point, Ramulg stops and just kind of. We're here.
Okay.
So,
Take 'em.
Ramog, what exactly happened as ourselves?
You've never tried?
Sorry.
No.
By all means.
Are you gonna do it?
Thump, thump, thump.
Haven't you guys read the Wildwood books? The Wildwood Imperium
No, but
books?
I've wanted to.
They're really good.
I'm
They're set in
guessing
Portland.
I mean, Ferg is gonna go up to the border, and I'm guessing just around.
Yeah. Well,
Without
that's what I was gonna
realizing.
say. If it's the way I originally envisioned it, if you read that, it's like as the periphery bind, which that kind of like discombobulates you and puts you in a place you don't expect. If that makes any sense. So if you try to go through all willy nilly,
It could get
You-
me lost somewhere else.
you could just pop somewhere else. So as like Ramal kind of says, "Why don't you try?" Keth like grabs Ferg's shoulder and goes, "Nah, Ramal," and like,
And
Dude, nah.
Ramog says,
It's fun to mess with the humans sometimes.
Hey, I was willing. I like y'all.
I like you too,
I
Ferg.
trust you.
and you get a bear nuzzle.
Oh, that's a good
Totally
present.
shoulder
affection.
Yeah.
Ramog
What?
back.
You shoulder Ramog back.
Oh, he didn't
Yeah,
actually. I
it's-
didn't actually let him
I'm
walk through
5'6".
because like
It's
the
the only
periphery
thing I
bind,
can
like,
do to nuzzle
the way
back.
I like originally.
Oh,
was,
I
like,
got
it
you.
just
I got
pops
you.
out random.
When I hear
So
shoulder,
I
I'm
like
like,
kinda
I'm like, I
No, don't do that.
I
'cause
picture like
who
a
knows where Ferg would have
Wolverine
popped out.
football.
No, like when you have a horse and like your horse like butts you with their head and you're like,
I'm
cool.
a horse person.
Yeah.
Headbutt of affection. No.
So
Yeah.
Ramog says,
The chat's up.
Get a little something to eat before we partake in the ritual.
Y'all want to eat some drugs?
Not wake up.
Not drugs.
You don't want to get food.
I'm sorry. Long journey.
Keth starts passing out little like bento box like lunches
Oh,
for everybody.
Kath.
I
Did you
died.
make these while we were walking?
Yeah.
I just made them before we left.
Keth is a
guys. No
talented
big deal.
individual.
Wrapped them up.
Kath is like
Individually.
This ain't no
Bring
lambus.
Ramog walks
Like a
up
piece of
walks
fruit.
up to the stream,
Lembus? Is that what it is?
and 5 minutes later, you hear
that how
some
you
like
say it? The
flapping
elven
of
bread?
fish in her hand,
Lambus.
and then she just takes the fish and just goes and just
You know,
cracks it on a rock, and then just
Have you seen where we are?
Me too, though.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Okay.
Does anybody else want fish?
I teeter over there. I
You
swiftly
like-
changed my mind.
Can you like sacred flame it or
Yeah.
something? That'd be so fucking cool.
I mean, I can't.
Is that a
sacred
cantrip?
I can.
Ramog
I can spiritual weapons it.
ends up grabbing at a
Cantrip.
fish. It's like 5, 6, 7 minutes later, and then
Cantrip.
hits the fish on the rock, and she's still got her mouth full.
There you go.
Thank you.
You have to fillet
so-
it.
We have a little bit of a time where you sit down, you eat, you relax, heart rate gets normal, and at a certain point, Ramog gathers the old retired druid along with Faye. Now, who is going to be transformed by Faye?
Can I roll for it?
I have a reason for this.
What is your reason?
I'm gonna try and use restoration to heal some of their burns.
Some of
Faye
the what?
likes me better.
Some of their burns.
That will not heal their.
Restoration won't heal burns.
Well, her burns are already healed.
should.
She's just scarred. Doesn't remove scars.
Faye likes me better. We've
Fair
wrestled
enough.
a couple
She looks
times.
cool.
Burn. Oh,
That's okay.
that's very funny. Thanks.
So Faye says,
Love you, Fisher.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a raven.
"Yeah, that's not happening.
Oh fuck! All right, let's go.
Eat this."
Here's a sparrow.
Okay.
Trash bird.
Oh my god, is that fuck? What is? It's like dry and really like not food at all.
It's not fungus slime, so
No, this is horrible. This is really bad.
and
Oh
the
god,
other thing almost
I gotta
killed
swallow
me,
it.
So yeah,
I gotta swallow it.
Yeah, not the first time.
And you
Call it as I see it.
you wolf it down. In the meantime, Ramog
Never.
comes up
Like, hopefully
to
looked at Shannon when I said
um
that.
Hey,
Who among you will be astrally projecting?
Well, there's only 2 of you left.
I feel like Farron.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Nut says that I can turn you into an animal of a sort.
Do you want to take this, or do you want me to jump on the grenade for him?
Sex animal.
Who's going to be the animal between the 2 of you?
Sure. Trust me.
Farron's like, I'm
Ramalg
only
says,
single. I have a kid.
I got 2.
Which
to
one
live
of
for.
you can cast spells?
2.5.
You'll probably want to go astral. You'll be a little bit more effective that way.
Go full astral.
Like you can still cast your spells.
Oh, I tried. Excellent. Thank you. Sounds great.
Oh, what are you gonna get turned into?
Cool.
I want to know what I got turned into after eating that gross thing.
I hope you guys are tiny so I can put you on my shoulders.
I mean,
I will totally.
I was really hoping for squirrel.
That works too.
Or shoulder, depending.
Depending on how the size you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think pocket mice are the cute.
Okay, so when Faye is done with her ritual, which looks a lot like you laying on your back, facing upright, seeing all the motes of light kind of trying to get into the Kashar, but failing.
The disco forest ceiling.
The disco forest ceiling, exactly. And then Faye reaching down and lightly kissing you on the forehead, kind of straddling you. And then she says, "This is gonna really hurt."
It's okay, I guess.
And then your whole body transmogrifies like American Werewolf in London style as you scream and scream and scream until you are a quadruped giant boar.
Oh,
That's her fave.
it is.
She must really like you.
I definitely would have been a squirrel or something. A newt.
And 4.
So, Ramalg, her ritual takes about 10 minutes, and of course, this is all kind of happening roughly at the same time. And when she's done with you, kind of pulls a Doctor Strange and just, you're standing up, right? And just pushes you down, and you fall into a soft bed of mushrooms and leaves, except that you still feel like you're still standing. And you are now like looking at yourself. You're ghostly and incorporeal.
You see me?
When you move your lips, no one can hear you speak.
Whoa! Oh, can you still cast voice spells then?
It's a good question.
Yo, can you still cast spells?
Can I hear everyone else?
You can, but it's really really hard to hear them. It's very echoey and incredibly blurry. Ramalg says,
"Have no fear. He will be able to do what he does best when the time is right."
All right.
Nothing.
And then lastly, Nut.
Well, this is happening in the background, and you just see Ket giving Ferg a truffle.
Shaky hands drawing symbols on your forehead with and then he says, put your hand here. No. The I'm sorry. The other hand. No, I was right the first time. The first hand, and put that. Close your eyes. No, just your left eye, and breathe deeply. Now sharply inhale. Okay. And he's giving you all these very esoterically strange instructions. And when he is all said and done, he says, "I see your totem is a snake of immense power. You may constrict the world if you desire." And
Are you sure it doesn't have wings?
And then you begin to transmogrify. It's not nearly as painful.
Do I become that albino snake with wings that Connor shared?
No, you turn into about a snake about the size of the camera and the stand holding it, and you have a pair of wings.
Oh, so cute.
You're a little tiny.
And you
natural beasts with wings have taken over.
It's basically the equivalent. It's basically the equivalent of a hummingbird, but a snake.
I'm gonna get eaten.
Humming snake bird.
Pretty much. I mean, you're still as big as this, but you can hear the humming of your wings.
Can I float over to Keth and kind of lay about Keth's neck?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool with it.
I mean, yeah.
I'm kind of worried about how small you are.
So here's the deal, though. Even as a teeny snake with wings, Farron is self-conscious about the flight situation, and everybody's looking. So kind of flies over and tucks himself right in Keth's collar of Keth's tunic, and then is I
don't have
sitting
wings.
there.
And Farron quickly realizes that if he, as a flying snake, I mean, you're very, very tiny, and your movement is going to be, minuscule on the ground. Yeah, it's the wings that will mostly get you around.
Right. But
so
I feel like I'm I can leave the Kashar now, so I'll just leave on my friend's shoulders and not fly.
Yeah.
Because that's terribly embarrassing.
When all is said and done, you do not communicate any language.
Yeah, no shit.
You can understand everybody, right? Same thing with you. And you can understand people as long as you're relatively close to them, 5 to 10 feet. It's very echoey. If you get farther than that away, it just becomes this blaring, echoey sound, like a cacophony of reality that just you can't put it together in your head. And sight's pretty difficult too, but your vision's a little bit further out. And at that point, Romalg says, "You must leave now."
And I go. I say, "Come on, Piggy, let's go."
And you already see Nut is on the ground meditating and saying words over and over again. He's on the burn the seed of and there you go. And Faye is just passed out. You actually had to roll Faye off of your boar body.
Oh yeah, I totally roll her into a nice mossy hollow, so she's gonna be
with your snoot.
Yeah.
Oh. You're truffling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, but while you were doing your thing, I gave
every day I'm truffled. Every day I'm truffled.
I was totally careful because I didn't want to puncture her with my tongue.
So.
Can you feel how cold and smooth I am on your neck?
It's a little chilling. Yeah. It's good.
Hey, Time, I'm going to tell you about this whole conversation later, so you can have it now.
I promise not to pee on you. That stinks bad.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Just in case I get bored.
Okay. Weird. So your
in my time zone.
Your travel is, you kind of double time it. Time is of the essence, and
I just did that.
I have to keep drinking.
I know.
I have 40 feet of movement. If that matters,
it totally matters. It absolutely matters. Yeah. And the boar can keep up with you, especially because it's Ferg. And I actually am going to just sort of pass along to you, just because we're dealing with animal totems at its core. That you can still bonus action dash.
Two in a bone.
So yeah.
Oh, girl.
Yes. Okay, so
I fly 60. I just want to be clear.
I need everybody to listen up.
That's me.
The Grove of the Ancients. So as you approach the grove, you're passing through a particularly dense thicket of trees. Reveals a transparent yet differently dense clearing. The area is littered with an explosion of different grades of white mushrooms, punctuated by fluffy ferns. At least that's what Time sees. Everybody else sees
bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
An explosion of a different kind of mushroom, a blood red finger-like fungi. Making the environment look gruesome in nature, as though it were reaching out for you.
Whoa, that's
gross. Several deer graze by a small pool. A wolf, ignoring the deer, standing at the other side of the pool, laps thirstily at the fresh water. At least that's what Time sees. Everybody else sees the same kind of deer, except they're lazily and sort of drunkenly milling about. And for those of you with good eyesight, and I would probably say that would be Feyren. Time's kind of off.
Even as a snake,
I'm gonna just kind of keep it simple and say that your all of your mental attributes are still kind of intact. Cool. But you see that these deer have bones and such exposed from their body,
even though they're lapping.
Well, that's what Time saw.
Peacefully?
They're not lapping.
They're not.
They're meandering drunkenly.
They're meandering drunkenly. And the wolf seems to be watching you at a distance. Also, weird, perhaps bones showing from their flesh with beady red eyes that are usually that are hungrily eyeballing you. All of you.
Does it see me as well?
You can't tell if it sees you or not. You're generally with everyone in the same area. It's just looking in your general direction. It sees you, it notices you, and that's really all you can tell at this point. So as you continue on, the trails are worn through. Or are they? I mean, Time can see that. But really, for all of you, a lot of the trails are barely apparent. They're overgrown. It's sort of like as you part some of the foliage, you can see that there was once a trail here, but it's been very, very much overgrown. People haven't been here in a long time. It seems. And so those pathways with which to traverse, and they encircle a large mound of a semi-glittery geode. While some pathways clearly lead somewhere as you start kind of sort of like parting some of the foliage, others lead to overgrown dead ends, resulting in kind of a experience that's maze-like. And it really differs depending on like where you're coming from, where your focal points lies. 20 feet from that geode, you see a totem pole. And the totem pole has a number of heads stacked one on top of the other. I need to run into the next room briefly. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna cry for a minute.
I'm gonna cry for a little bit.
Big fart.
Dude!
Bill would not leave the room for that.
I know it seems like I take a lot of notes, guys, but the main thing I'm taking notes about is where things are so I can make maps.
Are you judging? We're not judging you.
Letting you know.
Zero judging.
It actually just Connor's t-shirt looks really cute today. I wonder if Will likes me. Like thinks I'm funny, etc.
LOL Fisher.
Good one. Hair is amazing as always. Also, told that funny joke that one time.
I know you're joking, but honestly, I don't even think
not joking.
I can totally read your handwriting.
Just saying.
What white mushroom, fluffy, something
ferns.
We all see red finger like
Dead man's fingers.
Oh, damn. I am having a hard time. Several deer and a wolf.
You got it. I got it. It just takes a second.
Okay.
You should be a teacher.
So all of you are staring at this totem pole.
Very much.
Each head is incredibly different than the last.
Different, like they're carved in different styles?
Different.
Very much so.
They're petrified. Okay.
So as you look at them, first... the uppermost head, and by the way, Keth, you count the heads, and you're a little surprised to see that there are 14 heads.
14? 14?
14? Really? Inconceivable, 14.
Came from.
You kind of said 14, and then I said 14.
And the 14 are with you. You were surprised to see 14 heads.
If y'all look at Keth right now, slight shock.
We're not.
So the uppermost head,
I might be.
the uppermost head, the top of the totem pole, is a violent looking orc that is in mid yell. Just sort of like that face.
Blyfeld face.
The one right below it. So full disclosure, I wrote out all of this on the Trello page, and for some reason it did not save. So but I just wrote it today, so it's pretty fresh in my memory. I just have to. There's gonna be a couple pauses as I like.
Good them.
So let's see. There's the next head is below it is an orc head, kind of pudgier cheeks, and holding kind of a some kind of a bouquet of foliage in their mouth. The next head below that is a sort of a thinner faced orc with two small, almost like what looks like pins of a sort. Two of them dangling from their closed mouth lips.
I'm just enjoying this a lot.
Right.
That's all.
So the next one is an orc head that's has some kind of a elated face of a kind. It's smiling, closed mouth, and it's sort of like this.
It's high, really high.
Pooping orc.
I was going to say baby pooping orc.
Yeah.
So the next one is, let's see.
Text me how many tribes there were earlier.
13. Question.
So this one is a sort of a normal looking orc face with like a messy curly hair on top of the sort of carving of its visage, and it seems to be in sort of a declarative state. That's all I can say about that. The next one is a beautiful and comely orc with beautiful hair. The carving absolutely depicts it well, and with a sort of a wry smile.
This rope looks like.
The next one is a orc that has no facial expression whatsoever, almost like a deadpan stare, with a bunch of sort of elongated growths all over its face in various places. And there's a lot of them. It actually almost looks like a mistake, like in the wood carving, until you realize, oh, wow, that's straight up what they intended.
That's your face, Will.
Mm-hmm. So then there is the, let's see, a fairly normal looking orc, no hair whatsoever, and let's see, holding.
You're tired.
Emotional.
Almost
emotional.
Looking down as though it were focusing on something.
Looking down?
Mm-hmm. There is another one, an orc that seems to be sort of crying out in battle. It doesn't look as violent as the top one, but it looks like it's in a complete trance. Like some kind of a Hypnotic Blood Rage. The next one, another pudgy-cheeked looking orc that's kind of like comically sort of like wide-eyed, and its mouth is stuffed with mushrooms. The next one is the head of an orc with sort of a fancy headdress on it. The headdress, as well as his face, is adorned and tattooed with various skulls.
Like that's the Ackenback chief.
And this next orc is kind of an unremarkable. Nothing really stands out about this one.
Orcly the orc.
although it is looking off into the distance, sort of diagonally.
Moonjaw.
And the next one is an orc, again, hairless, maybe shaved head, holding a knife in its mouth.
So you guys are part of the Fantastic Four. That's
what's going to happen.
And the last one, the one on the ground that you can see the best, has somewhat of a pious look. Eyes closed, yet the eyes clearly rolled up in its
like it's looking skyward.
So I'm kind of trying to think about proportions of heads and things. Do you have any particular idea on like how big each of these heads are? If not, I can throw an idea out.
Yeah, I have an idea. Okay. So our sound ballasts, so for the viewers, those are the gray things behind Connor and Will. If you turn those to the side, like we're seeing over there, it's a little less long. It's shorter than that, but not much.
Widthwise, you're talking about, or
widthwise, yeah.
Okay.
And then and then the diameter would be roughly about 1.5 feet.
Like each head is about yay big. That's what you're saying, diameter wise.
Yeah. Well, a little longer though.
Yeah, so they're more like squat faces. Yeah. They're not like proportionate necessarily, like to a real face.
Correct.
They're a little squatted.
They're a bit. What's that art that, like, you know, the noses are really big, and what's that kind of art that people can make portraits of you? Caricatures. Yeah. It seems like caricatures of.
Okay, interesting. So I'm kind of imagining then if that's like size wise, then height is maybe, let's say, like 2 feet ish. Along those lines.
So 2
to 2.5.
2 times 14 is 28? Looking at a 28-foot tall totem pole with maybe a little bit of a
plus minus
point on the upper portion.
So approximately a 30-foot. I'm just kind of like trying to create like a visual in my head of
Absolutely.
Like, okay, so like something like this big around ish and 30 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, cool, gotcha. That was a relatively smallish tree in the Kashar version of things, like that's been turned into this. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
dig it. Okay.
And while it doesn't look like it was carved yesterday,
young tree.
There's something about this that lends to a belief that maybe it's been somewhat preserved by magics and whatnot. Yeah,
gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
So there's like a maze in front of us, essentially, with a totem in the middle.
No, with the totem almost at the front door.
Okay.
Yeah, and the maze, it seems to sort of like meander through around that sort of like massive rocky geode. Mm-hmm. And the geode is sort of like, you can see it kind of poking out of a lot of foliage on the bottom that's sort of covered. Again, you can tell the folks have not been here in a while. And
Well, it's like a weird combination of like part of the Kashar but separate of the Kashar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tell me if I'm wrong. Like, when we are here inside of the geode, do we get any sense of like us being back in the Kashar while being in this zone?
No.
So this is definitely separate from the Kashar.
Absolutely.
Bill, can I try to listen?
Well, I'm. You can certainly try.
I know it used to be part of the Kashar. Like Keth knows that, right? But like it's not anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it. He doesn't think it would work.
Yeah. Oh, did everybody start off with one inspiration? If you didn't, mark that on your character sheet. So that's an interesting question. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to say you can certainly try. To what outcome?
I don't know. I mean, it's a maze. See if I can like assess a direction to go in and kind of like see what it feels like. Anything. I want to see what I can feel.
So let me.
I'm
gonna try to answer. I'm gonna try to answer your question with a question. So, how would Keth describe himself as a person in terms of his ideals and his sort of values?
Well, Keth is lawful neutral.
No. But alignment aside.
Yeah.
Like values as an actual person.
I guess I mean like in context to what, like as far as like how I respect orc culture or like how I like treat other people. Like, what do you mean necessarily?
All of those things.
Hard question, Bill.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like Keth is one of those like respect all living thing types monks, and that he like is very like adherent to like his people like culture and like rituals and stuff like that, and that respect is forefront in his mind when trying to do.
Okay.
Specifically, this is your jam. Like, this location is your.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna. So normally I would say that it would cost an inspiration, but I would say that certain pathways, and there's a number of them, lead you to feelings that sort of like align with your values. And then there are certain pathways that very much do not. There really are no pathways that are sort of like a gray area. One's either like, oh, wow, this feels good and I should go down this path. And then the others are like, but the thing that you're most present to is that all the pathways feel like you're entering a very ancient part of your history.
Kind of like share that with everybody. On one of these good pathways with me? I don't want to just pick for you.
Can me as a bird like fly overhead and get a sense of like a little bit of a direction to go?
You do that, and unfortunately, you don't get much in the way of a direction because of all the overgrown foliage.
It's not like a hedge maze. There's like 3 dimensions and
there's one pathway that's maybe not as overgrown as the others, and you can see that it leads into somewhat of a kind of a cave. And that cave, there's sort of like a oval, sort of a overgrown something, like vines are just covering it, and it's right outside of the cave entrance. So like, for example, if you were looking at the cave entrance head on, this would be blocking the cave entrance. So one, if they weren't looking carefully, could maybe walk right by it. It has a little bit of that sort of like the bridge in the Last Crusade in Indiana Jones, how it sort of blends right into the rock.
Illusion kind of piece.
Indeed. So
I point that out to him.
Yeah, I mean,
like flapping at a location where they can go through.
That time is indicating one of the good ones or bad ones that I
it's actually too far around on the other side, so it's neither.
So I can't tell yet, essentially.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna kind of, because no one else can really talk to me. I guess you can't talk to me. You can hear me. None of y'all can talk to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to kind of like pick a good pathway and head towards time, where time is cawing and hooting, and go down one of the good field pathways, not one of the bad ones.
Does the feel good pathway feel good to Ferg, even in board form?
You can't tell. Yeah.
Can I reach out and try that same thing?
You can, but you fail. It's
Suck
a,
it.
It's a listening thing. It's an orc thing.
If we're in stones, later.
Wait, for what?
If we're in stone, maybe later.
With rock.
Rock sense.
Any sort of rock thing.
I understand now. Sorry.
You want to do the same thing, but with rocks.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Well, and I have a connection to the mycelium too, just in a different way than the orcs do.
This. So go ahead and make an insight check. You can add your stone cutting bonus to it.
Oh yeah.
You have a pretty good wisdom, don't you?
Huh? Yes. I just have it. Fucking 27.
Yeah. Okay. So
Fucking 27.
That's the first time I've heard you
That was
swear.
a nat 20. I'm
this occurs to you like some kind
the first
of
one
a
today.
prison.
A prison?
But you're not exactly sure why you get that feel or that vibration from the rock. It just, there's something about it that's prison-like.
Okay.
It has that depressive feel to you. So you guys start to go through the foliage. All right. So let's see. I would like everyone to roll a d20, please.
Okay, guys. Who's gonna fuck it up for everyone?
15.
What color do you want?
Me?
I want
I was feeling the blue
and the
one.
first thing I want to know is if anybody rolls the same number.
As each other.
What was that?
Yeah, as in
12?
the first
15 is what I
Hey,
rolled.
2 15s.
2 15s.
Fuck together.
That's 315.
3
15s.
15s.
I got a 2. Did you get a 2? Because that'd be crazy.
I got a 10.
Okay.
Statistically, what are the chances?
That'd be,
of
Okay,
rolling?
I don't want to talk about that. So 15, 15.
3 and
we only
5.
have a limited time, so I'm being extra, you know. So
Yes.
15, 15, 15. What'd you get?
10.
What'd you get?
2.
Okay. So that's what that is. So here's what I'll say is that you all begin to make your way through the foliage, right? You hear a little bit of the flapping of your hummingbird-like wings. You hear the sort of like the boar, and then at a certain point, you all kind of space out. That's the closest thing I can actually get to your experience. Some of you come out of your spaciness, in particular, the bird, the flying snake, and the spiritual entity known as Joy. And you are roughly in the same vicinity. You can kind of see each other a little bit, a little bit of distance from you. But both of you kind of split off.
Got lost.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can kind of hear the others sort of, well, no, you can't hear voices because...
We're still in the reverie?
Right.
Yeah.
And
what's going on?
And the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to go to you.
Yeah.
So...
I got 2.
That's pretty good.
There is
I get
no,
attacked by the
by the
wolf.
way, there is no bad high or low with this D20. It's more of a directional thing. So
Unless you got a 1, in which case instant death.
All right. So
directly into a bear trap again. No, somebody got
Oh my god, Bill, if there's
For you,
bear
it's a
traps
boar
in this,
trap.
I'm leaving.
so roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, funny story.
I almost was just like automatically did at disadvantage because I did it for so long.
Wait, how's your dex?
You're welcome.
I'm Dexy. I'm +2.
Yeah, the monk.
But my dex saves are proficient. +4.
Mm.
15?
Okay, you get caught in a bear trap. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally
It's
kidding.
like 2 bear traps.
So what you approach is you approach this area, like kind of approaching it from the side again, like you almost missed it. But you realize that you're about to pass a cave opening that's really overgrown.
Yeah.
And then there's this
Is there a bird
sort of
cawing by it?
no.
Oh.
And then there's this this sort of, I mean, you're not sure if it's like solid plant life, but it's like this oval sort of plant shaped thing. It's got to be like a rock just covered in a bunch of vines that it's like right in front of the cave opening.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I go in the cave.
Okay.
I'm gonna die. I go in the cave. I go in the cave.
You're not gonna die. You're gonna get.
I'm gonna be. Well, I don't know if this is that kind of cave.
Are you gonna like tell anybody else at the cave?
Like,
I don't know what anybody is. Wait, okay, am I like aware enough of myself that I can like talk?
It was just okay. It was just.
Well, Bill said I was still in a reverie. So
everybody, we're on Ashleen, so I'm gonna stick with them right now.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, do I have a question? So you say you go in the cave. You say, how aware are you?
It's
a great question. So let me just say that something is beckoning you in.
Okay.
And it's something familiar, and it's something paternal, and it's something like a long lost something.
But am I aware enough of like my own faculties to be like, this is what we're looking for? I should call my friends.
That's what we'll say. We'll say I'm gonna boil this down to a charisma saving throw. Because it's it's a beckoning, almost like a possession, but not quite. Okay. So
it's kind of like I'm being charmed a little bit, or like
a little bit.
Yeah. 15. -1.
15. So yes, you have the option of saying no, I'm not going to go in here yet. If you would like to do that,
I'm going to say this is what happens. Like I feel it walking in, and I'm like about to like brush in, and I'm kind of like, whoa, wait a second, and I like look around me and realize none of my friends are with me, so I kind of like stay where I'm at and start like calling out.
Make a perception check real quick.
Okay. Thanks. 10.
Okay, and you start calling out to everybody.
Yeah, I know they can't call back to me, so I'm kind of just like, hey, everybody, like follow my voice if you can. Like I'm pretty sure I found what we're looking for.
That could work.
Yeah, that's true. You could call. I don't know if you probably squeak.
So you all hear sort of a call and response thing with a number of you, right?
It's like our group call. You all have heard it before.
And so right now, in order to like be able to answer Keth and maybe like attempt to get to Keth, I would ask you to roll the same charisma save. So charisma saving throw roll, please.
Even the people who got 15.
As an animal, our mental stuff is the same, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. I rolled a 17.
Rolled a what?
17.
Okay.
22.
Using some
okay.
words from Morel in my ear, kind of in my head, being like, it's over here. Like I kind of connect over it.
Okay.
I rolled a 17.
Okay.
13.
So at 13?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all of you very much can have the sort of faculties about you to be like, oh wow, Keth maybe is in trouble. We should find him, right? Except for you.
Yes.
So you all kind of like, well, first of all, do you attempt to seek Keth out?
Yeah, because I wandered off and don't know where anybody is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I would like you to roll a 20 again, please. But now, and I'll get to that number later, but we'll stick with Shanna for right now. So Shanna, let's see here. You approach sort of the cave entrance. Mm-hmm. And kind of like go right in between that massive like vine covered rock and the cave entrance. What would you like to do?
Wait, so the cave I'm standing in front of?
No, it's another cave, but it pretty much looks exactly the same.
But I'm the only one going in there?
Yeah, something's beckoning you in, and you're heeding the call.
Okay.
So you enter,
mm-hmm.
and as you enter,
am I like flying or am I like inching?
I would say that
I feel like I'm slithering.
Yeah.
Like a reptile.
This is important.
Rocket 69.
So you inch in, and let's see.
I just love how much you consider that before you were like, so you inch in.
The universal sign.
And there is a somewhat of a crudely built stone mound of a tomb
mm-hmm.
in there, and each rock there are specific runes carved.
This is where I get pregnant with an abomination.
Carved on all of the rocks.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And there very much is a hey guys, will you
We're listening.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And there's a sort of a cold wind that blows from you don't even know where.
Mm-hmm.
And out of your periphery, you kind of see something moving, but when you look over, nothing's there. And you hear a whisper in your mind, really. And that whisper says, I am a perching barrel filled with meat, taking hits from leaps and dives. Look inside, but do not eat. The meat in there is still alive. What am I? I am a perching barrel filled with meat, taking hits from leaps and dives. Look inside, but do not eat. The meat in there is still alive. So here's what I'll say. I know that your intelligence is not the greatest score.
True.
If you would like to, I mean, hey,
yeah,
it's not judgment. It's just that,
it's
right?
It's just what it is.
So
numbers, yo.
In this case, it's going to be you and you alone making this answer.
Okay.
And you only get one answer.
Oh, I get to roll for it.
For no.
For
You have to answer
intuition.
Oh, you're going to roll insight?
Yeah, insight. Come on.
Okay, yeah.
It's a riddle.
Love it.
Come on. You got
It's not good.
It's my dice.
Well, what is it?
It's wait, wait, what do I roll?
Insight.
That's a 6 to it.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, 8.
8. That's not so bad.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not
so bad. Would you like to roll
considering
inspiration?
Yes.
do it. Oh my god, so do it.
Yeah.
Plus 10.
Yay.
What's your roll?
Well,
a 10, so it's a 20. That's a soft
15.
20.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Soft
Okay.
20.
Thank you.
So I heard
When we
20.
roll inspiration, if it's under 11, you add 10.
Yeah.
I heard 25.
25.
Right.
Yeah.
Fancy.
That's
Inspired.
much better.
Okay, so a couple of things. You're getting the distinct couple things. You're getting a distinct impression that it's not actually talking about a food barrel. Like it's a metaphor, right? For something else. That's hint number 1. Hint number 2 is kind of look outside of the cave. This place is so overgrown. Like, you wonder what has been covered up by all those vines. And the third thing is wow. I mean, you don't really know that much history of the orcs, but for those who would know a lot of history of the orcs, that would be probably really useful in this case. You know, to draw upon the knowledge of each of these ancient orc chiefs. Maybe it would tell you a little something about the riddle that they're asking you.
So you're asking me to answer the riddle?
Yeah.
Yes, but those are your 3 clues, and you may act accordingly.
Okay. The Kashar is an organism.
Oh, so you're just going to straight up answer it?
I don't know what else to do.
Cool. And it sort of laughs in a mocking fashion. And then there's just the wind goes away. Nothing exists. We're going to go to the others. So what did you get on your D20?
An 8.
What'd you get?
19.
What'd you get?
9. So
none of you find Keth. you all get to another entrance in which you kind of think Keth sort of like resides there. The voices are sort of thrown in here. And I need each of you again to make charisma saving throws.
Shit.
Do I have to make one too?
No.
14.
14, Dean.
Ooh, also 14.
21. What's that?
Also 14.
Okay. Time. You succeed, and you can actually keep looking around. You two, however, do not. Who would like to go first?
Nose goes.
Nose goes.
Perfect. You both called it, so
yeah. Okay. Cool. So Ferg, you really still have every intention of searching for Keth. I mean, you can still hear his voice kind of calling out. But you hear another voice calling out. What number did you get on your? It was 8. So
There goes our 1 in 8,000 chance.
All right. It's like 20 times 20, 400.
And so
20,
here is the boar, kind of looking around and finding themselves kind of like heading into the cave.
Yeah. It'd be good things to eat in Kappa.
Don't eat me though.
That's awesome.
Keth has truffles. Truffles, Keth.
Yeah.
And so you let's see. So you head in and you see something very similar. It might as well have been the same description.
Okay.
Each of the stones on this massive pyre, and each of the stones is meticulously like rune carved, and a coal.
Can I read them?
You at this point you're not close enough, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
And the wind blows through, and in your head you hear,
"The orc who tended it doesn't want it for themselves. Orc who reserved it doesn't need it for themselves. Orc who needs it doesn't know it when they need it. What am I?"
Phone a friend. I know this.
so
I won't tell them.
so no. So here's the thing. So I'm gonna a couple of opportunities. I want to hear. First of all, and I will repeat it if you want to, want me to. But I want to know if there's anything specific that you're doing before you answer this, and I want to also let you know that what is your intelligence?
My intelligence is 14.
So
with a +4 to history.
You may, because the +2 intelligence, you may wrap 2 other people at this table into this conversation with you. And so 3 people total. And I'm just going to say, just because, and I kind of added this in just because of myself, I don't like riddles, but I know other people do, right? And so I want to say that one of the people that discusses this doesn't have to be you. So, for example, you could say, okay, it's going to be Will, Shanna, and Fisher talking about this and trying to figure it out. But really, it's Ferg figuring it out. So I just wanted to offer you that, because if it were me, I wouldn't want to try to figure this out because I fucking hate riddles and I'm not good at it. So,
yeah.
So that's the second thing. So what would you like to do? Would you like to do anything before you answer this riddle?
I would like to hear it again.
Absolutely.
So I can write it down so I can read it.
I'm trying not to react so much.
The orc who tended it doesn't want it for themselves. The orc who reserved it doesn't need it for themselves. The orc who needs it doesn't know when they need it.
The orc who reserved it doesn't need it?
No. The orc who reserved it doesn't need it for themselves. And then the orc who needs it doesn't know it when they need it. What am I?
I feel like Ashleen and Will could hash this.
Wait, who?
Me, Ashleen, and Will.
Okay. So well, you missed it, but just know that you're going to be on this riddle problem-solving team.
Fuck yeah, I got this.
Connor,
just be over here.
Yeah.
I kind of know the answer to this riddle only because I know a lot of riddles, and Bill definitely put an orcish spin on a classic riddle. So I can either tell you what I think is the answer, or let you and we'll talk about it, and then I can tell you before you answer. It's up to you. So
I'm going to use my resources.
The classic riddle is a coffin. Is the answer.
Yeah, the classic riddle is a man who invents it doesn't want it for themselves. A man who bought it doesn't need it for themselves. And a man who needs it doesn't know when they need it.
Right. So the orcish spin on it, I would assume it's something like a burial grove.
It's actually... Oh, yeah?
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say it's the stone circles where the... rite of renewal takes place.
Well, people know that they're using it though.
One of the first sessions that you encountered one of the outposts that like one of the towns is. There was a place that I described called the Death Meadow, and it was where
I can't remember what it was
where the orcs lay their dead in order for the mycelium and the fungus to just basically overgrow them and just take them into the earth.
Give it back to the mycelium.
Yeah. So
it's a death meadow.
I think it's a death meadow. Yeah.
And
I wasn't trying to call out your DMing either. I love that riddle, and I love what you did with that riddle. So I love you, Bill.
Yeah. No.
So then an orc sort of manifests as a spirit in front of you, and curiously looks at this boar, and looks down at you, and
I didn't recognize.
And it says, he says,
I don't know where we went wrong. The mycelium called for death, and death was the only thing that we could do to accomplish our goal. It was the only thing, you must agree, friend, yes?
I'm assuming I can talk.
Death.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Death would have given life to the rest, to Terra Sentia. Why did we fail?
Did you make the spiral
disc?
A disc?
You're speaking in gibberish.
Oh, riddles.
Riddles, yeah.
Funny.
By the way, so this spirit has a very resplendent feathered headdress, accented with skulls of all varieties.
Ooh.
And it's as if they're. I mean, you can kind of see this a little better because it's a sort of an incorporeal, almost black and white version of it of himself. But his eyes are like purposely sort of like drawn in sort of like black mascara like ink that make his eyes and just his general countenance very intimidating and the harbinger of death.
Yeah. So they were told to bring death, but it was. So what is it? What is this orc spirit trying?
Make an insight check.
Trying to ask.
Ooh.
18.
You get the sense that this is his own personal hell.
Oh, okay.
That he's stuck in a quandary.
Okay.
And he needs a different perspective if he wants to find any modicum of freedom and release. And also with that insight check, roll a history check.
20.
You remember talking about this particular ancient chief with Zeph, as a matter of fact. Zeph was a very distasteful tribal leader. He was known as Death Herald Ramalk of the Hollowcrest tribe, and was obsessed with death and all things pertaining to it. When the decision was made to launch the orcs into the end of the First War, just pretty much throwing caution to the wind, it was he who beat the drums of war, knowing it would result in mass casualties and essentially fanning the flames of his own passion.
So he's kind of like the main reason they kept fighting when they should have stopped?
I wouldn't say he was the main reason, but I would say that he was one of the cogs in the wheel that pushed that vehicle forward. On a separate note, his second love in life is music, particularly drums.
What tribe did you say he was? I'm sorry.
The Hollowcrest tribe.
Hollow or hollow?
Hollow. Yeah.
From
So I'm open to anything that you want to say to persuade this spirit. And you know what? Like if you want to go straight simple, we can do a simple persuasion check. And I'm also open to
asking for his blessing.
And I was also open. I'm also open to other ideas. The first thing that you realize, though, that has sort of infused in your very being, is the ability to cast a very powerful spell once per day that basically just sucks the life and the moisture out of your target.
Gross.
Also known as blight.
Real bad for your digestive tract. Blight's terrible.
Not good for your skin either.
Your probiotic. That's good.
I mean, I would. Ferg would bring up the skein of history that they have through the H&M, and life continues on. And that Ramalk should keep listening to the drum of the heart and that life beat.
It's just so much easier when the drum beat stops.
But it doesn't have to be easy. It's not easy. It's fucking hard. We have to get through this. Getting that drum.
And okay.
So I guess persuasion.
Yeah, I'll allow persuasion, or I will allow performance as sort of a poetic sort of treatise, along with some choice sort of beating of your hooves as the drums.
Sweet. Can I use my inspiration to roll at advantage?
Well, why don't you roll first? You know what I mean? And then that's kind of how we do it.
We do it. 11. I'm gonna inspire that.
Okay, do it.
Because that was
there's literally 18 plus.
18
plus what?
18.
18.
Straight across.
Plus zero.
And he says,
I'm not super charismatic. I can make my way through.
He says,
it's funny for a
I can hear my heart beating. I can.
30 or 60.
I can hear it. It's the call of our people.
Yeah. And
Such a fool.
Ferg just like keeps pounding out a heartbeat because can't talk a whole lot. And just like, especially because Ferg's been through the ritual of preservation.
Yeah.
And just like infusing all of that, like psychically, because we're talking in our heads, just like all of those feelings from that.
And it floats at you, and it reaches out, and it puts his disembodied hand on your shoulder. You can actually feel it on like your boar haunches, and it says, "Thank you." And when it says "thank you," you can hear his own heartbeat, and then it becomes this like really intense war drum.
Oh, damn.
And then the spirit steps inside of you.
Whoa.
And you can feel an infusion of a sort.
Yeah.
It's neither good nor bad, but it's different. It's a almost a lightheadedness, and then an empowered feeling, and you're empowered with another ability that could potentially snuff the life out of your enemy in an instant. And we will get to those specifics on that a little later, but definitely let me forget that.
Yeah.
So then we are going to who was the other? Yes, Joy. What number did you originally roll?
9. Or wait, originally or
on your D20?
9.
9. Okay.
The first time was 15, but we split up since then.
So you this description of the cave is exactly like every other one. There's this like massive vine covered rock in the very front, and as you go around it, there's the cave entrance. You see inside the stony pyre, all of the stones meticulously carved with runes.
Good.
And that cold wind blows through. And inside your head, you hear, "What tastes better than it smells?"
Cheese. Lots of cheese.
Okay, so
No?
So what is Joy's intelligence modifier?
+2? Yeah, +2.
Okay, so you may, at your discretion, wrap 2 other people into this conversation. Or you don't have to at all.
Okay.
Also, is there anything you'd like to do beforehand?
Yes, I'm going to read the shit out of all those rocks.
Okay.
Even if it's a language I can't read, I can still sense what the intent was in its crafting.
Oh yeah. So the intent, absolutely. This is the imprisonment feeling that you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of keeping the spirit
from each of these carved stones. Are they different?
It's almost like all of them are doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
Person AF. You got this.
It's the runes almost indicate that it's keeping a harmful spirit inside.
Are
an angry spirit.
Are these like magic drawn out runes or like alphabetical runes?
Magical drawn out runes.
Okay, I was thinking like Nordic runes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know for this one.
Who's going to help me with this one? What tastes better than it smells?
Is that really the answer to that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's not an really obvious answer. That's how riddles always work. It's something that. Sorry, I'm
choose 2 people.
Choose 2
who
people.
Will help you want this. They will talk to you. Figure this out.
Or you can pick someone besides yourself if you don't want to be a part of it.
Well, I clearly do.
Yeah.
I have an ego. Right? Okay. You work with cheese, so you know many things that taste better than they smell, so I'm picking you.
Okay.
And you. You won the eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you picked Connor because of his of their experience with the last riddle. I'm just going to give this to you.
Did I?
There was a direct correlation between the orc chief and what they were obsessed with, what they did in life, and the riddle.
So you're saying like that chief and that chief's riddle, direct correlation. Fisher's chief and Fisher chief's riddle.
The dad.
Well, there was the tastes better than it smells.
Apple-cheeked mushroom eater. Mushrooms smell pretty terrible, but they often taste.
Also, didn't your chief have to do something with death?
Yeah.
Do truffles?
The mushrooms
and
death.
the answer was coffin.
Yeah.
So for yours, you know nothing about this chief.
Yes.
But they do with death.
Is there something in the room that...
Maybe. Why do you assume that?
Something to do with... I'm assuming there are 14 caves and 13 caves and 13 riddles to do with the 13 orcs.
There's 14 heads.
But since the 14th one was a surprise, I'm assuming that's some bigger, darker central thing.
Yeah.
What
having
smells
written
better?
down...
Tastes better than it smells. That's not the answer.
There was also the pudgy orc that had the bouquet in its mouth.
That's the other one I was thinking.
Yeah, but you don't know what cave this is.
I don't.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of identify?
It's so overgrown, you can't tell.
What is?
It's hard.
Can I tear?
Absolutely, God! I'm waiting for someone to say something.
I'm gonna be like, all right.
Absolutely.
Can't see shit.
What do you? Yeah. So you start to
No, this is not the crash.
Yeah, you find
this
that
is not the crash city.
You find that you can actually manipulate physical objects in here. It's very strange how that works. And you begin to pull the vines aside, and nothing is very.
Everyone in the chat says cheese too.
Nothing is very apparent right now.
Heavy.
Yeah.
But let's see. Nothing is very apparent right now, but and as you got to get closer to the edge of the cave, you see that large rock that's covered in vines outside of the cave.
Okay, I'm going to trepidatiously step over the threshold of the cave.
Okay.
Am I okay?
Yeah.
Still alive? Nothing's chopped my legs off.
Well, I mean, your legs are gone, but that's a small.
Only the penitent man may pass.
Yeah. So can I walk through things?
Do you want to try?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sweep my hand through a rock.
Oh, there it goes. Nice. Completely incorporeal. All
right, I'm gonna I'm gonna peek at the rock outside.
Okay, so you just kind of push your face into the vines or whatever. And this is a little bit difficult, and it takes you a little bit longer because you're so close to the canvas, so to speak.
That's tricksy.
But what you see is you see a large, sort of robust orc that has a hand. This is a statue. It's not just a rock. It's just overgrown with so much vine covered everything. Okay. Yeah, that it just didn't really look like it. It was sort of and you have in one hand he has a handful of edible mushrooms.
Oh shit.
And in the other he has somewhat of some kind of a wine glass, and he's in mid drink and just eyes closed, enjoying every moment of it.
This that. Dionysus.
I think the answer.
What's the initial riddle again?
What tastes better than it smells?
It's what tastes better than it smells.
You too.
Okay.
Well, mushrooms.
We can't answer.
I know, we're just sitting over here
that's much more
don't say anything.
Literal. Because what could be the answer is a meal when you're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back in and be like...
Is that your final answer?
A meal when you're hungry.
That's ridiculous. And no more wind. No more nothing.
Right.
Like a little more direct.
Both would have been incorrect.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's not just like a thing. I feel like it's more something like what Fisher was going for. Like it's a play,
So,
you know?
Yeah.
We go now to time. Birdie time. You are attempting to find Keth still, so roll another d20.
12.
Plus anything?
Just a
Oh, yeah.
No one's got in 12 yet, though. So what?
how that works.
Well, Bill did say it was direction based. But
So you wander through. You can still hear Keth's voice, but and you think he's in that cave. Make a charisma save. No, he can't be in that. You can actually go in the cave and look. There's no Keth, and that voice is beckoning you in, but you resist it.
Yeah.
Roll another d20.
I'm looking for a better cave. Looking for a better cave, baby. 19. The best cave. Best cave. Best cave. Best cave. Easiest cave. Easiest cave. Easiest cave.
So no. Roll another charisma check.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not Keth's cave.
I kind of just want to go in my cave
12.
now.
Wait, 13.
13.
13. Caw! Jesus Christ. Am I
Which
just
cave
that?
are you in?
Am I that good if I found Keth yet?
Oh wait. You 13 as a charisma save, right?
Yeah.
Ah, got it. This whispering though, it's compelling. It's just
Yeah.
ooh, there's something about this, and you fly in,
Caw.
and you kind of perch right up on top of the pyre and like look at all these weird symbols, and that cold wind blows through.
Yeah.
And there's a violent energy in this cave, by the way.
Yeah.
And it says,
We are 8 brothers, all related. We are completely loyal to our leader. In a battle, we will sacrifice our life without question. But our lives are not to be wasted, for we can be very helpful when the battle draws to an end. What are we?
Okay. Can I look around for like orc leader heads around the cave, like caught some things, like rip off some shit out and look at lines
where do you look specifically?
towards the entrance of the cave to kind of like
You see that big rock that's outside the entrance to the cave.
Uh-huh.
You start to kind of like, it's gonna take a while. You're a little crow, but essentially like
hawk, falcon. It's fine.
But still, I mean, like it's not easy as
Yeah.
the size of the bird you are.
Definitely not.
So it takes a long time, but you pull a bunch of this off, and you see this massive specimen of an orc, but doesn't wear the same kind of a symbol heraldry as the chiefs do. This is a different kind of an orc.
Okay.
He wields a massive greatsword pointing down at the ground. And okay, I have to reformulate this.
Your thing.
He's kind of got this Conan the Barbarian thing where he's like sitting on a throne, right? Or not even really a throne, just like a chair, right? And a greatsword in one hand, and he's staring down at something. And when you fly up and kind of get a bird's eye view of it, you see that it's a game board of a kind, of some kind of.
Okay. Okay.
It's worn. It's worn through. Like you can't really tell what game he's playing. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got.
From that, yep.
Could you tell me the riddle again?
Yes.
We are 8 brothers, all related. We are completely loyal to our leader. In a battle, we will sacrifice our life without question. But our lives are not to be wasted, for we can be very helpful when the battle draws to an end. What are we?
Pawns.
You've played the game of war before. I see.
And there is an incredible infusion of hatred and violence inside of your heart.
Standard.
No, this is very different.
Extra painful, violent. Gotcha.
You went down one of the bad paths.
And
is what it is.
And he says, well, then tell me this. Since you're so skilled in the ways of war, why did we lose? We had every benefit in the onset of the war, and we attacked like the Mycelium told us to. Why did we lose?
You're too willing to sacrifice.
Like that was a mic drop moment.
I think that's a good moment. I'm not gonna lie.
That says nothing for us. When our wives were so willing to do the same.
But they sacrificed you.
What's the difference?
Your anger was too powerful. Clouded your judgment.
Judgment of what? We were doing what we were told!
Sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. Whatever you were told was not enough.
Make a persuasion check.
Down. Is this something I could potentially use my important ability on?
Absolutely.
Oh, sweet. Then persuasion?
Yeah. Did you not use it before?
I have 2.
Oh, okay, got it.
22.
And he says,
So you're saying he made. I didn't think enough moves ahead.
You said you were on. Perhaps you should have been at least a bit. Gotta love me on that one.
Undone.
I never thought of it that way.
Reroll at triple disadvantage.
You just like healed this one.
Would you play a game with me?
Love to.
Would you like to play a game?
and he sits down and he plays. Like suddenly there's a chessboard there, just sort of in the ether. And he sits down and he plays the game. And as you're playing the game with him, it's almost like you're both sides.
Yeah.
Until you both meld together as one.
I'm having a lot of fun with it in a really interesting way. Yeah. This is kind of her jam.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So you gain the boon of combat prowess.
Suck it. That's probably not good for us.
Not going to be useful for you.
And you also gain
coffee with combat prowess.
ability that will make any weapon that you wield magical. And but we'll talk about that later.
On a magical level? Question mark.
What?
I don't understand the question.
I'm like how it may affect me, or like you're talking about like magical weapon.
A plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cares if it affects me on a magic user level.
Sadly, no.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a browse magical weapon. Copy that.
Mm-hmm. And kind of Time thinks about this sort of success and almost thinks like, you know, maybe there's the option of like cherry picking. Like if there's a certain orc chief that maybe you can imagine what kind of a relative boon you would get from them, that maybe like not going with that and going to another thing might be better.
So on the combat prowess level or the magical weapon level?
I mean both. I mean, like you said, you're a wizard.
Noted. Very big.
I'm not saying it won't be useful. I'm saying that it will be less useful for you.
Time to multi-class.
Yeah, and suddenly you're a fighter.
Okay.
Baron. So, I'm assuming that at a certain point you wander out of the cave. Is that a yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roll a d20.
15.
And you run into Kath.
For me. So what do we?
Okay.
Now, did you answered your riddle, right?
I didn't enter the cave. I'm
Nothing
still
yet.
standing outside the cave.
Yeah, still waiting.
Oh, right.
We never cycled back to me.
Okay. So I'm going to say that right. You're either trying to decide whether or not to go into the cave or to find another and maybe go look for them.
Yeah.
And that's when you and the flying snake run into each other.
Okay.
At first you're like, what the fuck?
So I kind of like
Can
I don't
we,
know. I kind of
can we
see like
run into each other, like we run into each other, and I become like a slap bracelet.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, that's so funny that like vein of thought. I was gonna be like, can I say like I see Farron running up to me and I like or like flying up to me and I kind of reach my arm out and he just like loops around it, and then I like hold him up to me and I'm like, okay, so I can't find anybody else and this cave is calling to me. Should we go in it? And I'm just like looking for like a nod.
It's like the bicep shot from
or like a no or like a yeah. You know?
I give you like a yeah. Let's
like
go
a yeah.
into it.
Okay, so I take Farron on my arm and we go into the cave that I'm in front of.
Okay.
Sick.
It's so funny that we thought the same thing. I was just like,
I was like obvious slap bracelet.
Yeah.
With the little wings, like kind of like shrugging, like looking at you.
Oh my god, so fucking cute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Farron's
my slap bracelet.
You guys just say slap bracelet at the same time?
Well,
we were already talking
we've
about
been
it,
talking
but yeah.
about it.
You adorable teenagers from the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s.
So
I wasn't a teen in the 90s.
When back in the 90s.
I've
You
had
were in
slap
spirit.
bracelets. They made a comeback in like the early 2010s.
Now they put USBs in them.
That hurts. I don't want to talk about it.
USBs in?
them?
Yeah.
No.
In slap bracelets?
You slap USBs.
I don't believe this.
It's true.
What do you plug it into? Your body?
Yeah.
Computers.
Bring it in.
No.
But
That kind of
This is going to be the last one, and then we're going to end the session.
Okay, hit me with your riddle.
Hit
us with your
riddle.
So,
I beat you.
Underway.
okay, so you both go into the cave, and you see again the exact same thing, and then that cold wind blows through, and you both hear in your heads. Oh wait, yeah, you chose not to answer that, correct?
I just haven't gone in the cave yet.
Yeah, they haven't gone in yet.
I helped Berg with their riddle.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I just get really stoked about riddles, so I've been antsy over here.
Auntie Drew.
When I'm
That was pretty good.
here's the voice. When I'm used, I'm useless. Once offered, soon rejected. In desperation, oft expressed. The intended, not protected. What am I?
Can you repeat it?
I'll gladly say it again. When I'm used, I'm useless. Once offered, soon rejected. In desperation, oft expressed. The intended, not protected. What am I? Now, what's your intelligence bonus? Okay, so you've got you and Shanna to bounce ideas back and
Real
forth.
smart.
But I'm open to.
I know you're -2, so
I'm open to other ideas before you answer.
okay. It's like so many words that I can't write it down, but I like want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you say it one
One
more
more
time?
time.
No, I can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
When I'm used, I'm useless. Once offered, soon rejected. In desperation, oft expressed. The intended, not protected.
Once offered, soon rejected. Is that what the second one was?
Yeah. When intended, not rejected.
When I'm used, I'm useless.
Mhm.
Once offered, soon rejected. In desperation, oft expressed. The intended, not protected.
Goodness gracious. This is like, I'm having like an existential crisis with all the answers running through my head.
I'm going to just say that most of you are not utilizing things that you could be asking for from me.
Okay.
Certain checks and so on and so forth. I don't want to hear anything from the other folks. I'm just saying
I just wanted to write it
I've
down.
noticed that. And I'm saying that there's some things that you
investigation check.
I would like to make. You want to investigate? Go for it.
Sure, let's do it.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm not using that I should be using.
Yeah. Well, I
would like to make an
something that you're
check
good
on
at.
the-
Look at whatever you're good at.
Do we see the ghost of the guy already, or is that after we answer?
Not
the
at
riddle?
all.
Okay.
Okay, can I just look around the cave? Stop listening to these riddles? Can I
Yeah.
do a little
I mean, it's hard to look around because there's just so much overgrowth and foliage. It's just
can I hack it apart?
Fuck yeah, you can.
Yeah, let's do
I'm gonna
it.
say that I see Farron trying with his tiny little snake mouth, and I just grab my short sword and start slashing whatever he wants me to.
Let's do it.
Okay, there was a close call of almost slashing the snake, but you kind of,
I'm dexterous.
I'm very
and
dexterous.
so a lot of the stuff that you uncover this kind of archway above the tomb that says Gromph of the Mycorot tribe. But that's really the only thing you uncover on the inside of the cave. The outside of the cave, you start to tear apart that big hunk of vine-covered rock, and you realize that it's not a rock; it's a statue.
Mm-hmm.
And the statue is a giant orc with just this face like this.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes barely open, holding a massive keg with you could only imagine as some kind of ale or fermented beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about the Pugsley? Yeah, that's rude.
My first thought was a tissue.
Okay, wait, no, hang on, right here. When I'm
got it?
used, I'm useless. So that's drunk, right? Once offered, soon rejected. Getting so drunk you fucking throw up. In desperation, off expressed.
Scully tattoo.
You wallow, drinking in desperation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the intended not protected.
So did you ever roll your insight check, or did you?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And what?
I didn't see the guy. So 15 plus 1, 16?
Gosh, what can you remember about this guy in his history?
I'm guessing he was a monk.
Yeah, but you'll really never know unless you roll, say, for example, a history check. I don't know.
I'll do a history check.
Okay.
2.
You don't know anything about that.
Got it.
I feel like it's historical.
11.
Do you want to use your inspiration?
Sure.
Do it.
A lot. 19.
19?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yes, Gromph of the Mycorot tribe offered delicious beverages for the whole of the Red Sun tribes and was famous for his generosity. However, outside of his passion, he often made rash decisions, only to blame others, blame his actions on others, and he was it was sort of his shadow side.
We feel like this could be alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
What you're talking about. Drunkenness.
But it's also if
the riddle again was, when I'm used, I'm useless. Once offered, soon rejected. In desperation, oft expressed. The intended, not protected.
I have a feeling it's something so can you repeat what you just said about the guy, the Gromph guy?
Yeah, so probably some kind of a brewer of a sort. But outside of that passion, he often made rash decisions only to blame his actions on others.
Mm-hmm. Maybe an excuse.
Yeah.
When I'm used, I'm useless.
Mm-hmm.
Once offered, soon rejected.
In desperation, off expressed.
Yeah.
The intended, not protected. It's an excuse.
Dude, yeah.
Yes!
Guys,
Smart!
That sounds really awesome.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I was often told that many times.
Yeah.
I thought for a second when you laughed, I was like, damn it.
Guys,
I solved the riddle.
That was really fucking, that was good. That was good
great.
teamwork.
And,
Well done.
and I will say, Jana, you kind of said it first, so I'm gonna...
Oh, no, you got that one.
That was almost equivalent to doing this.
I'm gonna say that the power of this spirit sort of infuses you on sort of a bare basic level. You gain the charm of restoration, and we'll get into that later as to what that does. And then he manifests and has a mug of ale in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
and he begins to basically convince you as to why he was right in the final decision.
Of course.
Of like he told them that they shouldn't attack. He told them that they shouldn't have done that. Nobody listened to him. All right. It's really their fault. Why did I have to die for that?
Can I make a history check to see if I know that he actually was on that side of the decision?
I will give you the fact that yes, he was, based on your last roll.
Oh, so I know that he actually didn't want to keep fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, why do I have to suffer for their transgressions? It's like I was one of the only voices of reason. Yeah, but nobody ever listens to me. Oh, I'm the town drunk, they say. People are stupid, don't you think?
I'm sorry your voice was not heard, brother, but I think that the Keshas back then made a decision for all of our people, and it was an all or nothing type situation. I'm sorry that you were a
just
victim
like
in it.
them. You're just like them.
I was raised by them.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, it's
you can say something.
Everyone wants to try to make their poor idea sound great in the service of honor.
I don't know. Our people are still alive because of their decision.
I'm so snake.
But he's talking in like how.
Oh, we're all okay. Got it.
Yeah, you can talk to him in your mind, kind of.
Why should I forgive them for putting an innocent to death? I offered nothing but sound leadership all of my life.
Sounds like you're making excuses.
Oh.
You have to realize that history is written, and I can read the person that you were in our books.
So what kind of a person was I?
You were the type of person who made rash decisions that got people hurt or killed, and made excuses for yourself instead of owning up to them and accepting the fact that you fucked up.
I'm telling you that I was the only one that didn't fuck up.
You were a drunk. You were a drunk who didn't give a shit about other people to the extent that you blamed all of your shortcomings on anything else left and right. You actually didn't take ownership of your people, and if you had been leading them correctly, your wife, the Kesha, would not have killed you.
He said.
You make a persuasion or intimidation check.
I'm going to do intimidation because orcs have a plus on that.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a 16, Bill.
Plus?
And
that was with the plus.
And Romp just looks at you with hatred in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you know, when you're expected to lead, do this, do this, do this. Mm-hmm. When do they ever give you the time to look at yourself?
I'm still just hearing excuses.
Fuck you.
You have your entire people to look after, not just yourself.
Like the little snake tails just like massaging your shoulder.
The spirit just angrily throws itself at you.
Okay.
And it slams you against the wall. And then it's just not there anymore, and you can tell that it is infused inside of your own body.
I want to say, like, as it hits me, I feel like a huge surge of rage for a second that, like, I have to like figure out how to like control because orcs don't control their rage very well.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of feel like a dick for a while.
Slap bracelet. You're fine.
You're fine. It's good.
And you gain
like a necklace now.
Yeah.
You gain the
slap choker.
The level 2 blessing of Eldritch Resistance.
Cool.
And we will get into that, what that does later. So then going to time.
Yeah. Because I have some questions for you.
Well, as you're playing the game, let's just do a contested intelligence roll.
Sorry, I didn't really let you talk.
Just straight intelligence?
It's fine with me.
Unless you have any sort of like proficiency in games, that you can also add that.
Okay.
Some backgrounds give you that, but
I I don't think I have a particular background.
So give me a straight intelligence roll then.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do the
Oh. Okay.
I got 12.
18.
18. Cool. So you win the game.
Awesome.
Right?
Oh, it's done?
You win the game.
You win D&D.
Of chess that you're playing, right? And then he says, well, it's time. And by the way, it doesn't know your name.
I know.
But you do.
And he says, your many friends have asked us many questions. So it is time for their sacrifice. Which one should I kill?
Of our friends?
Yes, make it quick, or else I will be forced to do it for you.
Dwarf.
Done.
Yeah. Sorry, you're new.
And
I'm just saying. No offense.
And
thanks for playing with us for like really nice.
A spirit manifests, a very intimidating orc. And you can hear this orc completely clearly, and it says, give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you now.
I need to say someone else first.
That's a good answer.
And who would that be? I grow impatient. Answer quickly.
More people than I can recall the names of.
It is as if you were lying to me.
There are problems.
What other one
I've
of your
caused.
friends should I kill?
My friends?
If not you, must die. Answer quickly,
Can you
or I will
die
choose
right now?
for you.
Okay.
You are too slow, and
Well,
it
I'm
leaves.
the most reasonable to die.
It manifests in front of you,
In front of Kat?
in front of both of you.
Okay, so we don't know who he's manifesting in front of yet.
Well, you can both see him.
Right. So
and
he's going
he-
to kill us both.
And so he looks at both of you and he says, I grow weary of this conversation. Nobody wants to give me a straight answer. And he disappears. And then he manifests right behind the snake and basically grabs the snake, puts it against his blade and goes,
No.
and
You said you weren't going to kill me.
well, that's an assumption based on that I actually killed you. But I will say that Feyren, as the winged snake, is no more. And that's where we will end tonight.
Keth just kind of like hits his knees to the ground. No!
And the gigantic orc that slew the winged snake, it looks at you and says, you may continue on with your riddle answering. Get to know us. Someone will be called to sacrifice themselves again soon. And then it disappears. And that's where we'll end tonight.
Right.
Emotional roller coaster, Bill.
Thanks for letting me be mean to you.
One goodbye.
Fuck yeah, dude. I rarely get to see you mean, and it was actual
hard.
pleasure.
It was hard because I was looking at your face. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm being so mean to Bill right now.
Yeah, I love that.
You're a single
I love,
mom now.
That's what I love about role playing is you get to step outside of your boundaries of like what you think is appropriate
It's okay.
or not
It's
gonna be
appropriate or
okay.
whatever.
It's okay.
Will, I
Now you
loved
know.
your.
Survive.
Yeah, I was tempted to
It's a
just
9.
give you that one. Like it was a very compelling argument.
Which one?
The one with the gamer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
But
you healed him. I shamed him.
I still
Like,
rolled high. I still rolled high and got it anyway, so it
Yeah.
worked out well.
I still feel like my answer
Well,
is
first-
probably better than whatever the answer is.
I had a really good moment. First off, like I still have my inspiration and want to use it to figure out which of the chiefs would be like the best for me. To, like,
Unfortunately,
gain
that's
from.
not how it works. You get one inspiration per session. No, we're not.
Yeah.
What
I know next time. Without
Thank you.
in here.
Thank you for joining us for our short session. We won't be here next week, but we will resume the week after.
I won't be here
at all.
Time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will be older the next time.
Hell yeah, you will be.
Yeah, dude.
Birthday.
Birthday.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We're
Happy
signing out. Have a
birthday
great
to
rest of your
you.
4th of July. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, you will.
Revolution around the sun. What are we looking at?
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and all those things. Also, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/criticalmisfit.
38.
Question mark? I like that.
That's a good number,
I have to
Connor.
do the math.
Did you like